What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tonight we have a 2012 F350 with the 6.7 straight from the city of Los Santos, and we have to replace the EGT sensor. Come with me tonight and figure out why the best tech in LS has to replace this, what codes we got, and if you are going to have to replace your EGT. Alright guys, let's do this. Alright, welcome back, you guys. I'm so glad to be back on here and showing you guys what's up with these 6.7s. Today, I had one come in with a check engine light, and it was in derate. And remember, we were talking about in our previous videos, we have two different types of DTCs. We have continuous memory DTCs, which are faults that happened but may not be currently present. It's kind of more history. But also will tell you, if they've got something going on. But the most important section is our on-demand codes. Our on-demand DTCs are electrical faults that are happening right now. And we have something pertaining to the EGT sensor in position number 2. The things that we have here, we have an EGT circuit, bank 1 sensor 2, that on-demand DTC. We have this one, and we have this one. So one of the great things that IDS and the Ford team have put together for us technicians is we have this freeze frame data that gets captured and snapshots what happened when the fault set. And you guys can check this out. Look at our EGT sensor. Which do you think is the suspect sensor? Not the one that is 237 degrees, but that one right there in position 2 at almost 2500 degrees. So that is what we're going to replace, and I'm not sure if all of you are aware of where that exactly is on your truck, but the current part number for your 11 through 2016 are going to be those. If you have a 17 to newer model, the EGTs, 2 of them are the same and 2 of them are not. Out of the 4, you'll need 2 different ones. 11 through 16, this is what it's going to look like. Can be a buzzard to come out, but putting it back in can be a buzzard, and sometimes they come right out. Being that this truck is from the West Coast, I'm hoping that the rust quality underneath is going to be non-existent. So without further ado, let's get this thing up in the air. Let's see what position number 2 is at, and we're going to assess the situation and hopefully successfully extract the sensor. Okay, so we're up underneath the truck, and here is the transfer case, okay? So if you guys take a look, there is sensor number 1. Here is sensor number 2. This is our suspect sensor. Sensor number 3. And then sensor number 4. These are actually the old style ones. Sensor number 2 is actually a new style one, so that's kind of surprising. The overall condition of the exhaust, I mean, I've definitely seen worse. It is a 12, but the whole underside and the body and everything doesn't look too bad. The frame, fasteners, this tri-bolt flange here I usually see rotted out. I mean, I'm thinking we might be good. There's only one way to tell, and that is to get it removed. But first we have to remove that connector. So just depress that button. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with one hand. Be careful of your def injector. Oh, maybe. Nope. Let me try one more time. Okay, I feel the button there. Did it stay popped for me? Yeah, I got it. Awesome. Okay, so that makes us free and clear. The one step we're gonna do, so you can use heat to take this off, and I would recommend it. Sometimes I have them come right out and you don't need heat. Before you go ahead and put anything on here, go ahead and totally cut this off. I'll show you. Get you a pair of diagonal cutters and totally break that guy off, just like that. So you can now put a socket on it. So we're gonna save this for later. So I have a Chrome 13 that I always use for this. Just judging by the exhaust, the way it looks, I'm going to try to get it out without putting heat on it and see if we come loose. Now I'm supporting myself here. Let me turn it just a little bit more. Look at that. Damn. I mean, I pulled. Okay. Just being ginger. In fact, to show you guys even more, I think I'm going to try to remove this by hand with my fingers. This, you guys, does not always go like this. Don't be fooled. I highly suggest, if you are in a corrosion state, to heat this thoroughly before removing your sensor. And I've even had these get stuck in here, causing me to replace this. All right, I have gone and applied just a little bit of anti-seize on there to aid in threading it in, but like I removed it, I am going to screw it in with just my fingers once I get it indexed correctly. And those are kind of sharp on the edges, so I'm going to continue with my 13mm wrench, tightening it. Not restrictive whatsoever. In fact, I can just run it the rest of the way down with my finger, and then I will snug it with the wrench. That's tight. Let's give it one more snug, and then we're going to route our electrical connector back right where it came, and then try to plug it in again with one hand. Sometimes my phalanges don't want to orientate the way I want them to go. That DEF injector's hosing me. Okay, she's in the cavity. Squeeze it together. I get it? Yep, I got it. Pull on it. She's not coming out. Okay, so now we're going to run the self-test again and see if our on-demand DTC went away, and then we're going to go through the procedure to remove this from idle only. Alright, so we're back in the truck, and this is what we have. Currently, we are going to log into the computer, and we are going to see, now that we are live, what our data is reading. So let's get this refreshed, and I'm going to immediately go, okay, today. I'm going to immediately go back, and we're going to see where our 1.2 is now reading. Look at that. All the EGTs are very close to each other. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we need to get it out of idle only mode. Some of you may be asking yourself how you are going to do that, and we are going to do that following this procedure. I'm going to quickly get this outside so that my EGTs do not get above 149. We're going to get out there, we're going to monitor all of our EGTs and increase the RPM to 2000 and monitor the sensor that we just replaced. We have to watch it until it gets to 194 degrees, and then once it gets to 194 degrees at idle, we have to monitor the reductant tank pressure PID for an increase to 72. Now, step 4, it's going to talk about two things: wide frames and narrow frames. Narrow frames cab chassis, wide frames pickup. For pickup trucks at idle, monitor the reductant injector duty cycle. The PID should display a square wave injection pattern within 90 seconds of tank pressure increase. That wave pattern is going to last for 30 seconds. When it stops, place the vehicle in park, and increase the RPM to 2,000 to 2,500 RPM using the accelerator pedal. It wants you to look at the last EGT sensor and watch it go to 437 or when the message clears. It's very crucial that we get these steps performed, because it is something that you will need to redo if it does not get out of derate. Alright, I've got everything selected. It does want you to have the ambient air temp selected, but I've been in the shop and I know that my ambient air temp is good. I'm going to monitor all of our EGTs. We have our injector duty cycle for our reductant. I have our tank pressure and our tank temp. Our tank temp has to be above 32 degrees for us to even think about getting out of derate. So if you ain't at 32 degrees or above, it's not going to work. So let me get this outside and we will continue. All right, so we are back outside with the truck. I am starting it. We are monitoring our def tank temp. It has to be above 23. I said 32 earlier. It's 23. But we know that our ambient air temp, we were sitting in the shop, so we know we are warm. We are going to verify that all of our EGTs are 149 and below, and we have verified that. And the next thing we're going to do is start the engine and use the accelerator pedal to increase RPM to 2,000 RPM. Monitor EGT 1-2 for pickups, and we need to get to 194 degrees. Once we get to 194, allow the vehicle to idle. So I'm going to do that right now. We have no DEF pressure, so as soon as we get to 194, I'm going to let up off of the accelerator, and we are going to watch for our DEF pressure to increase. This is for the wide frame pickup configuration, idle only message on in the instrument cluster. $194 for EGT 1-2. Okay, I'm gonna allow it to idle. Okay, here comes our DEF tank pressure. Okay, it's coming up. We got to hit 72 psi, and then once we hit 72 psi, it will take approximately 30 seconds for the reductant injector duty cycle to start its square wave pattern. So we're just going to kind of again wait here and see when we are going to start that. I get a lot of questions on the procedure for this, and if you don't follow it to the T, it will not allow you to exit idle only. So we should be creeping up on our 30 seconds. Still waiting. It's definitely past 30 seconds. I don't know what the dilly is. Any time would be nice. Alright, it's definitely not happening. I don't know what's going on. The injector duty cycle has not moved at all, and we still have the warning in the instrument cluster. Quite weird. Alright, I found something that I remembered from, I don't know when this was. It was a few years ago, and I had took a picture of it. It says, certain 2012 Super Duty vehicles exhibit the concern they will not exit forced idle. There was previously a TSB covering this with an alternative drive cycle procedure. That TSB has since been removed. Since we have exhausted all options for clearing the idle-only condition, perform the following. Start the engine. Keep the vehicle in park. Using the accelerator pedal, increase RPM to 1800. I'm just going to go to 2 grand. Using IDS, monitor PIDs EGT 11, 12, 13, and 14. Once all 4 EGT PIDs display 230 degrees Fahrenheit or greater, return the engine RPM to idle and allow the vehicle to idle for 10 minutes. This procedure is to only be used on 2012 Super Duty trucks when the published procedure is not successful. It cannot be used on any other vehicle. sitting here trying to figure out why this would not work after the fact. I remembered I had this second procedure, and we are going to see if in fact this is going to work. In 10 minutes after we have achieved the 230-degree temp, we're going to let this boy sit. All right, we are creeping up on the 230, all three of them, and then we got Slowpoke 1.4 coming up. You can see it's just about to hit the 30 mark. 231-ish, all right, we're there. I'm gonna just let it stabilize above 230, maybe get it just a smidge higher. Currently right now it is 12:11. Soon as 12:12 comes up, I am going to release the throttle and let it sit here for 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back out and see if anything, hopefully, has changed. So right now, about 250s, 300s, I like it. We're above the 230 threshold. Engine idle, C manual, still 211. No way. Look at that. You see what I'm telling you guys? I did not do the procedure as stated in the book. I did not do the procedure that I just read you. Sometimes this emission stuff, you guys, this is real talk, real live. I'm not BSing, no smoke, no mirrors. I didn't do anything special. I didn't even let up off the gas yet. I have no more message. Let's see if we are exited the idle only. Oh, freaking A right, bud. That's what I'm talking about. I know it did not happen as we had talked. This may be a little misleading for some. Please review the videos that I am going to post the links about in the description regarding cab chassis, idle only procedure, and the message for speed limited to 50 miles an hour in X miles per hour. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. If anybody's ever had to do this procedure and or that secret procedure that I just explained to you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share, and I'll see you guys all next time here on Power Stroke Tech Talk with Aaron.